Hey guys, welcome back. I've got a doozy of a book this time. What is it? We're taking it back pretty far. This is Web of Spider-Man, issue 100, and it is written by, let's find out. Where's the credits? I thought I saw the credits on page 1. Y'all are killing me here. Okay, there we go. Terry Cavanaugh was the writer, Alex Saviuk was the penciler, and Joe Rubinstein was the inker. And you open up on this 100th anniversary issue of Web of Spider-Man to see Spidey taking on the awesome android, and then Dragon Man, and the Dreadnought. And those are the new enforcers. So he manages to get away from them by having Dragon Man's fire breath free his frozen foot that Dreadnought had frozen, and then the other two end up hitting their heads together. So, two heads are better than one, apparently. So the main thing is, once he gets away from these characters, the cool part about this particular issue is the fact that he goes into a lab and he comes back. We've got way too many characters to really dig into this, but we've got the Blood Rose, who may or may not be Richard Fisk. We've got, let's see, Dragon Man, Dreadnought, awesome android. But we get the spider armor, which I thought was a really, really great idea. Now, it was nowhere near as technical nor as impressive as Tony Stark's Iron Man armor, but it was not meant to be. It was just meant to protect him from damage. So it was a different type of armor. It's more of a tank armor than it is a truly defensive weapon, like Iron Man's armor would be. But he does manage to get entangled and break free easily because of the armor. The armor saves him and gives him an opportunity to continue the fight. And it's unfortunately, it's kind of like a crutch though, because you get to see Spidey still taking on Tangle and, let's see, Thermite and Tangle. So Thermite can shoot heat or cool blasts, and Tangle is trying to get him with those, Alf shoots out of her hand. And so, let's see here. There's a guy named Plant Man. Maybe I should introduce him to Swamp Thing. Maybe they would get along. But Plant Man says sometimes you have to know when you need to sow the kernels of chaos, which I thought, even when I read this book way back in 1993, I thought that was kind of a funny line. So Spidey's powers have kept him pretty agile, even with the armor weighing him down, because he's able to jump and shoot, and somebody hit him with fire, but that armor is still going. So see what I mean when I say it was a tank type of armor? It just allows him to take a lot of punishment and continue on. And Tangle tries to grab him. He grabs her like a whip and throws her to the ground. But then Strong Woman of the New Enforcers ends up football tackling him from behind. Meanwhile, you have this weird side story with this character called Night Watch, and then Gauntlet. And Gauntlet may or may not be the true Richard Fisk. So we don't really know who's who. But Gauntlet has got one of Night Watch's gauntlets. And the only thing you really need to know about Night Watch is Marvel tried to have their own version of Spawn. I mean, just look at the outfit, guys. I mean, it screams Spawn. So that was their version of the short-lived version of Spawn, and he had two gauntlets, and Gauntlet, oddly enough named, took one away from him. And here we finally see the demise of the spider armor. Somebody lobbed a grenade, the armor still held, but then Thermite hits him with some heat. Spidey's still coming, and in the end, he hits him with the cold. So Peter says he flash froze the melted slag into my joints, into my suit's joints. Armor's become a full metal straitjacket. And he says, so we're getting back to the basics. So he knocks him out. Blood Rose is trying to take out Gauntlet, and instead ends up shooting Night Watch. Spidey tries to capture Blood Rose, and in one of the most interesting things, he says, this is why I had my suit built with Velcro tearaways, so that, you know, if I got caught, I could just pull away. Meanwhile, Gauntlet is trying to murder Night Watch, and just as Spidey is unmasking the Blood Rose to find out who that is and what's going on with that, then we get to see that Gauntlet has apparently had his gauntlet taken away from him. And Spidey says, wait a minute. He says he looks almost like a stronger, weathered version of Richard Fisk. So the cops show up and they're like, we get a call from the homeowner, Spidey, what's going on here? I don't know how you plan to handle the sparking androids, officers, but you can book 5 unconscious new enforcers and 2 Richard Fisks. Prepare for a lot of paperwork. So the main thing that I wanted you to see was the spider armor, because it was a wild idea, an interesting idea for the time. You know, a lot of people forget that Peter Parker is scientifically intelligent. Not on the same level as Tony Stark, but he is pretty smart and pretty brilliant himself. So when he has the necessary tech, which sometimes he does not, unlike Tony Stark, then you can get something cool like this spider armor. So that is Web of Spider-Man issue 100. Thanks for joining me, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I got a lot of more videos coming up for you.